In today's class, let's begin learning how to use the Spanish tildes, okay? The tildes, I know in each language the word tilde means something different. In Spanish, the tilde is that short line that appears on some vowels, okay? So only vowels can have tildes in Spanish, and actually all the vowels may carry a tilde if the rule applies. And in Spanish there are 4 rules for tildes, okay? In this lesson, let's learn the first rule of tildes, right? It's the, I don't know if the most important one, but it's the one you will come across more often, okay? However, we will also learn in some following lessons rule number 2, rule number 3, and rule number 4. So we can actually dominate the whole, all the rules and know exactly when a tilde applies in Spanish. In Spanish, if a word carries a tilde and you do not write it with a tilde, that's a typo in Spanish, okay? That's an orthographic mistake, so it's wrong. So it's very important to know how and when to use the tildes. And since Spanish is a very regular language, okay, and the pronunciation is very, very specific, the tildes will always let us know when, where a word needs to be accentuated, okay, in which syllable. So, rule number 1 of the tildes. This tells us that words carry a tilde. First of all, let me tell you, what are agudas, palabras graves, and palabras esdrújulas, okay? Palabras, you know, means words in Spanish. So, let's say we have a word, casa, okay? Casa. This means house. This word has 2 syllables. It's ca, sa, okay? Words that are agudas are those words that have the accent in the last syllable. Words that are graves are the ones that have the accent in the last but one syllable. So, casa is grave because the accent, it's the last but one syllable that is accentuated. It's not casa. If it were casa, it would be aguda because the accent would be at the end. It is casa. The accent is here, so it is grave. Okay? A word that is aguda would be, for example, mansión. Okay? Mansión. This means villa. Mansión is goes like this in syllables. Okay? Mansión. The accent is in sion. Okay? So this one is aguda, right? Sion. If the accent is in the last syllable, it is aguda. If the accent is in the last but one, it is grave. And which are esdrújulas? That means that the accent goes in the last but 2. So, for example, actually the word esdrújula is esdrújula. I'll show you. Esdrújula. Okay? The accent is in last but 2. This is the last but 1, this is the last but 2. Okay? So this word is esdrújula. Esdrújulas. So what does this first rule tell us? All the palabras agudas that end, terminadas, that end in either a vowel or an N or an S carry a tilde in the accentuated syllable. Okay? So in this case, we have seen this is aguda, right? The accent is in the last syllable. Sion. Does the rule apply? Yes. It's aguda ending in a letter N, right? N. So it carries a tilde in the vowel that is accentuated. Okay? The word casa, it's grave, right? Grave. So, when do the grave words carry a tilde? The ones that, oops, I have a typo here, consonante, I missed an I. The palabras graves terminadas that finish with a consonant that is not an N or an S, okay? So, or a vowel, sorry, o vocal. So, it's the right opposite to this rule for the agudas, right? Agudas carry a tilde when they end in a vowel or an N or an S. The graves carry a tilde when they end in a consonant, sorry, this doesn't go, in a consonant that is not an N or an S. So, why does casa not carry a tilde? Because it ends in a vowel, in vowel A, right? In vowel A. So the rule doesn't apply because it doesn't end in a consonant that is not N or S. It actually ends with a vowel. So the word casa is grave but does not carry a tilde. So let's try to find a word that is grave that does carry a tilde. For instance, ágil, right? Ágil means agile. Ágil. We separate it like this. Ágil, right? Ágil, agile. Is it grave? Yes, because the accent is in A. If it were aguda, it would be ágil. Ágil. However, it is ágil. The accent is in the first syllable. Ágil. Now, let's see. Is it grave that ends in consonant that is neither an N or an S? Yes, it's a consonant. Letter L is a consonant. And it's not an N and it is not an S, right? So, this word ágil does carry a tilde. That's why we have a tilde here on the letter A, right? Other examples of words that are graves that carry tildes because of this rule would be, well, for example, orden does not carry, you see, because it ends in a consonant that is an N, right? Let me see, one that does carry a tilde. Lápiz means pencil. Lápiz. This is the Spanish word for pencil. You separate it like this. La, pis, okay? Lápiz. So, it's grave, right? Because the accent is in la. La. Now, how do we know if the A from la carries a tilde or not? Because the last letter is a Z. Z, right? And Z is a consonant which is not N nor S. So it does carry a tilde on the A, right? Lápiz. Another example of now palabras agudas that carry tildes would be cajón, which means cajón is a box, okay? Cajón. Usually cajón is a wooden box. Caja we use for cardboard box and cajón more for wooden boxes, right? Cajón. Cajón. Right? So, it ends, so the accent is in the last syllable, right? So it is aguda. And it ends in letter N. So, it carries a tilde on the O, right? Aguda that does not carry a tilde. Let's think one. I can think of one now. Palabra no. Terminadas, consonante. Hey, I can think of one. Camión carries a tilde because it it finishes with N, right? Same as cajón. Televisión carries a tilde. Libro doesn't carry a tilde, it is grave, right? It doesn't carry a tilde because libro, book, doesn't end with a consonant, okay? So, well, now I can think of aguda that doesn't carry a tilde, although it's full of them. So let's pass to the esdrújulas, okay? So esdrújulas are those that carry the accent in the last but two, like the word esdrújula, okay? Another word that is esdrújula is brújula. Brújula means compass, the compass to know where you are located, okay? That always points to the north. Brújula is separated like this. Brújula. Brújula. We know, we can feel, because of the intonation, we can feel the accent in the last but one. And the rule tells us that always palabras esdrújulas carry a tilde in the syllable that is accentuated, okay? So brújula will carry a tilde. And this is the last but two, last but three, last but four, last but five, if there were any. All those would also carry a tilde, okay? Okay, with an exception. Let me show you this exception. Let me get rid of this. It's actually not an exception because Spanish is quite a regular language that is usually doesn't have twin exceptions. This is actually not an exception, it's part of the rule. Look, the word simplemente, and this applies for all the words that end with a suffix mente. The suffix mente is the equivalent in English to the suffix ly. Simplemente means simply, okay? Amargamente would mean bitterly, right? Inteligentemente, intelligently, okay? So the suffix mente is equal to the suffix ly. Now, simplemente, it sounds, where is the accent? Simplemente, it sounds as if it were here, okay? In simplemente. But here, what we have to apply the rule, we have to recognize that there is a suffix to this word, the suffix mente. The root, the word, is simple, and simple is actually grave, right? Simple. So the word simple, does it carry a tilde? No, it doesn't. So when it's complemented to the suffix mente, it doesn't carry a tilde either. Now, if the original word without the suffix does carry a tilde, then after adding mente, it keeps the tilde.